Since Tim Cook unveiled the Apple Vision Pro just recently, let's talk about virtual reality. So here's my personal experience with virtual reality. Wherever I go in the world, whether near or far, when I tell people that I'm from Singapore, I inadvertently get asked this question 90% of the time, 95% of the time. Where are you from originally? Almost as if you weren't Chinese Singaporean, you then could not possibly be Singaporean. And I ask myself at the back of my head, what do people think what Singapore is? So then I tell them that I was born in Malaysia. And then 95% of the time, the response I get is, oh. And then I ask myself, what is it that these people know about Malaysia? Now, both these countries have a shared history, and in both countries, I'm 10% of the population or less. So in either of these countries, I just form a minority, an important minority, but still part of the fiber of this country. But what troubles me sometimes is that I'm now expected to succumb or pay attention or play along to someone else's identity of who I am. It's not who I say I am, it's who they say I am or should be. Thailand is a very interesting country. It's a beautiful country. It's a tourist country. And all of us would have heard the phrase that Thailand is a land of smiles. What's interesting is that not many people ask what's behind that smile or those smiles, and what are the thoughts behind those smiles. What's interesting about this country is that it allows the people who come from all over the world, people they like, people they don't like, people who are natural to them, people who are not natural to them, people who have alternative lifestyles to come and do their own thing in this country. This country doesn't label people, it just lets people be themselves. And just by being that, it's able to absorb variety, diversity, and enable people to realize their own potential in this community. And this is not the case in many other parts of the world. In fact, the moment you put a label on somebody, you then tag that person and expect that person to conform to your idea of reality, your idea of what it should or shouldn't be. Now, virtual reality also has a time dimension to it. Take tonight's dinner. If this dinner was being held 10 years ago, it would be filled with CEOs of every major bank from every major country in this region. Today, it's a mixture of CEOs as well as leaders of non-banks who are transforming the financial services industry. We haven't started including the digital banks, the disruptors, the new payment platforms, and so on, who are slowly eroding financial services as we like to think it should be. And who knows, in the future, it might well be the decentralized finance players who will dominate this very dinner. So just following this industry over a spectrum of time, what we consider to be our reality starts to change and be transformed. Who knows that in the future, the best bank in Asia or around the world may not even exist today, but will dominate in the future. I just published my book last year, and I launched it in the US, The Great Transition, The Personalization of Finance is Here. You know what's interesting about a title like this? Many bankers who have never read this book, they actually start by saying that they understand exactly what I mean. Because to them, personalization means that their customers love them. The customers love the way in which they put together their product, whether it's a mortgage or a loan of some kind, and treat the customer as if the customer is getting a personal experience from a traditional banking product. What they don't realize is that the personalization I'm talking about is when the customer no longer needs you. The customer no longer needs the services of an intermediary, because in the future of finance, the users of finance can relate to each other, and the intermediaries have to change their idea of what personalization means. It is almost hard and difficult to see, and painful to see, how bankers have visualized the reality of the future of banking. Just think about this. When bankers think of what banking should look like in the metaverse, what do they think banks should look like in the metaverse? That somebody should wear a virtual reality goggle and see a bank branch in there? Don't they realize that customers don't need branches anymore? They're not entering the branches anymore. They're getting on with their lives. And the bank is only as useful as you're able to assist or provide some services related to their everyday life. Increasingly, which is found in the virtual world, in the metaverse, where they want to go out and do things that they want to do. Gaming, staking, and transacting with other people. The bank stands in the way. And what does the banker do? He recreates the physical institution in the virtual world. And that's what the banker's perception of virtual reality is. It's putting his reality into the virtual world of future generations. You know, virtual reality and vision have similar roots. Both see what others cannot see, and both want to see what others do not see. But there's one very simple difference that distinguishes virtual reality and vision. Vision is led by people who want to take others along with them to a reality that they are creating. And this is what we're celebrating this evening, that each of you here have led your respective institutions, the people in your institutions, the people that you have a fiduciary responsibility to, your customers, your shareholders, and you've taken them to what you could see, what they could not see earlier. And that's what we're celebrating today. But even that reality, over a period of time, will start to change. And so, I leave it with you to ask yourself if your vision is the virtual reality that should be. Thank you for being here.